Now, there was a time when Kristin Lehman was on a path followed by many Canadian talented actors. Kristin spent a decade in Los Angeles, made her mark on American shows like Judging Amy and Felicity.
Are you sure you're okay to do this?
Yeah, I'm fine.
And of course, AMC's moody water cooler hit The Killing.
That's the only thing that makes sense, Darren. You know him. This is just a game to him.
Which, by the way, was actually filmed in Kristin's hometown of Vancouver. But Hollywood in itself was never really the goal, so when the time came to have her son some 5 years ago, Kristin chose Canada, where she's throwing her support behind other artists with plans for an online magazine called This Fair Land, which is solely devoted to Canadian musicians, writers, and culture makers. And it's also, by the way, Vancouver, where she happens to be the star of the hit series Motive, the show that puts a twist on your conventional crime drama.
Whoever killed him wanted to watch him die.
Please welcome Kristin Lehman! So nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
How are you?
I'm good.
Welcome to the program.
Oh, thanks.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Got a show.
I did. No, listen, I didn't just get a show. I got a show in Canada.
Yeah, that's the thing.
That is what's like flipping pennies into a wishing
But
well.
one more, it's in Vancouver.
Yeah.
I mean, just the idea of going back to that part of the place where you're used to, right? You're used to Vancouver, it's your home.
Yeah, you know, I took 3 years off to have my little boy, and I had him in Toronto, so I moved
Most people
back.
only take 9 months. That's all they need.
They do. You're right. I had a long gestation.
Okay.
But I was down in Los Angeles, and I knew when I got pregnant I wanted to have my little boy in Canada, so I came back to Toronto. And then after those 3 years, I wasn't sure I was going to keep acting.
If you had stopped acting,
Yeah.
do you think your son would have got an accurate representation of who his mom is?
I'd be like singing show tunes at Saturday for breakfast, be like, what do you want for pancakes?
Wait, hold that answer. Hear this song right here. Watch this.
Oh my God, I hate you. I hate you so much. I hate you.
Next Tuesday, you'll be hearing from us.
Thank you. And thank you, George.
Singing within you. Hey, you were on the commish.
I have never, ever seen that. And I gotta tell you, I don't sound as horrible as I imagined in my dreams. I was on the commish. That was my very first credit.
What does Motive mean to you?
Everything right now.
There's also something, and I mean, I've talked a bit about this on the show before, which makes it different from a lot of shows that work in the cop detective space, is that the victims aren't always brutalized girls. That's a big difference.
Yeah.
I mean, it still exists, but not the same way.
Our show is not violence and porn merged together, you know, which basically is what a lot of the terrorizing of women is, and so on and so forth, or, you know, the horrible gun porn and that kind of stuff. That isn't our show, which I think is indicative of the fact that it's Canadian.
Rico Colantoni, Hugh Dillon, and others, they actually helped change the conversation about what Canadian drama could be.
For sure.
But Motive is the same. It's a Canadian show.
We're making a product that is compelling both for Canadians and an international and U.S. market. And that, to me, is really, really fantastic, because some of what's contained in that is we're very socially similar to the States. We share a border, it's, you know, permeable, all that kind of stuff. But there is an essence that you can't put your finger on that makes us different, and the show carries that.
And one thing that's truly Canadian, and this might be a bit of a stretch, but I was thinking about this when I was doing the math on your life. You were young, but you weren't... Terry Fox died not that far from where you grew up.
No, he used to train in front of my house.
And Terry Fox means so much to us.
Yeah.
But when you're so close, what did that mean to you?
I think it's obviously informed me in passionate ways, because, you know, a breath away, a Canadian icon informed the fabric of my young life, but you don't have perspective on it while it's actually happening. Right. You know, also Rick Hansen wheeled straight up I ran alongside him. So all these things that...
And how old were you when you ran alongside him?
I was in grade 9, I think. Maybe I was a little younger. Yeah. I just remember the hill was near my junior high, so it must have been that I was around then. And we were like, I can't believe he's wheeling up this hill. It was so steep. Oh my God, go Rick, go.
That's amazing.
Past the DQ.
But that would maybe partly explain why Canadian heroes are important to you.
Yeah, very much so.
Because you got to see them up close.
Very much so. I just feel like, my feeling is that
here's the thing. I was asked a question recently, and they said, are you ever called out for being Canadian? Like, have you ever given it away? And I said, I didn't know I was hiding the fact that I'm Canadian. I'm just Canada's a country, a big, huge, beautiful, tremendous country. Why would we not say that we have a place in the world? So really, it's just about presenting what we are right now. And maybe in the course of exploring that and presenting that, we can find some equanimity.
I like following you on Twitter. Here's something that we found. Explain this to me, please.
Oh.
This was his tweet.
Is it a love note to you?
No, I wish. Talking about death to my sweet young son seems both complex and simple. We want to live as long as sea turtles, we've decided. 125 years old. That's a beautiful tweet.
Now I'm gonna cry. Oh, Barbara.
Well, that's a beautiful tweet.
Well, thanks. It's just true.
What started that? Where did that conversation come from?
Well, you know, kids are brilliant, and I can't believe, George, come on. I think a big part of how I parent is obviously I guide. I'm an adult. I have more experience and exposure to the world, but I treat my son like his own person. I don't think he's deficient in any way because he hasn't had the same experiences as me. I think what prompted that tweet, which is no longer there, is he said to me, Mommy, in the dark, at night, which is when it usually happens, he said, Mommy, is there a creature that doesn't have a lifespan? And I said, do you mean is there a creature that doesn't die? And he said, yes. And I said, no. And he knows Finding Nemo, and in Finding Nemo, Marlin, Nemo's dad, wants very much to meet the sea turtles so he can tell his son how long they live for. And so Sam said, I want to live as long as sea turtles. And I said, me too. And I meant it. And then I thought, can I?
With the right supplements, yes.
That's right.
Show's called Motive. Thursdays on CTV. What a real pleasure to have you. Thank you so much.
Likewise. Thank you so much.
Kristin Lehman, everybody. We'll be right back.